Welcome back to Development Book Club. Today we finished Games Criminals Play, a little plus and minus what I thought, not just what it was actually said. Three things I liked, one thing I didn't like. The three things was just the entire structure of the setup process. It's really cool to see strategically how people can be manipulated. For example, the first step is just the observation being, we don't even say anything, we're just observing, sussing people out. And then we're testing limits. And this is coming off the heels of the previous book, which was Boundaries. I'm sort of reading this book through a boundaries lens, and how people that have weak boundaries and an inability or reluctance to say no are ready for exploitation in a prison situation. And then the idea of isolating the mark or the target from their peers and sort of having a them versus their peers or their superiors mentality to align them with prisoners, the use of physical touch and bonding. The most interesting stat I found was the 70% of people that end up like bringing in weed to a prison or something, employees that end up bringing in contraband like illegal narcotics and stuff into a prison. The first thing that they did was they shared a cigarette one way or another with an inmate, which was fascinating. And then from there, the shopping list and the kill, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, like I'm too far into this and I can't get out. And again, that advice from Shakespeare that's easiest to resist at the beginning. I love the breakdown of the whole process of how you can really manipulate somebody and how it starts slowly and incrementally. It's all just little things until all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're in a spot where you have to bring in illegal drugs or do sexual favors for an inmate in a prison. Number two, we didn't really cover this, but there's a ton of case histories. There's 3 or 4 long case histories at the end of the book that give examples from prison and from outside of prison, like scams and stuff, where the same setup process is used. It's really insightful to see specific concrete examples of every step going down the line. Last thing I liked about the book was the real life experience that it comes from the authors having worked in prisons in California, and now that they are consultants for the prison industry. And I really think that they have this idea. They don't really demonize the prisoners. At times they'll speak negatively of them, but they really hold the police officers or the correction officers accountable for their own actions and what they're doing. The thing I didn't like was, they say it maybe once, but I really think it should be said multiple times, to watch out. When you're reading a book like this, the tendency, because everything is framed towards manipulation and how you can get in a lot of trouble and all these bad things can happen. And there are kind acts that happen in the beginning of the setup process that don't always lead to manipulation and being turned out. I think it's very important to realize that inside and outside of a prison, it's possible that people can do acts of kindness and just be kind. So like the metaphor from the end of the book, the dead seed is dead, nothing can live in it because it only receives, it doesn't give. And this idea that people can give, even in a prison and outside, of course, as well, without turning it into a setup process. All that said, it's a great book. They really should have paid someone to design this better because it looks like an 8th grader designed it. And this is still the version that's out today in 2017, even though it was written, I believe, in the 90s. Don't judge the book by its cover, which I know you can't not do, but judge the book by its cover, have a laugh, and then check out the inside because there's some really cool psychological insights in there. We'll see you next time.